Okay, so I'm gonna play
that footage, but some other people who have really disrupted their lives to come and be in DC and who are talking about why they came and why you need to come and why you need to spread the word. And people should spread this segment all over. Show your friends and your family and your coworkers this episode and this footage that we've shown so far, and of people calling on them to come to DC. We want to play some of the voices from on the ground here in front of the U.S. Supreme Court.
Hello, my name is Devin. I'm a student organizer with Rise Up for Abortion Rights. I've been organizing with their New York chapter for the past few months. And so this is a sort of spoken word speech that I wrote. Our movement. This is not our movement. This is the movement of our mothers and grandmothers. Our descendants rose up and made us free, made our bodies free. So why do we have to keep fighting? Why, after decades of liberation, have we turned the clocks back to the 1950s, telling us that we have no choice, that a potential life inside our life matters more than the lives we are living, that our freedom was a misgiving? Why is the right to choose something that we could lose when our bodies are under attack? There are wars killing hundreds every day. There are immigrants leaving their homes who can only pray that we will give them a place to stay. And what about the women? What about the people who are already on this earth? What about the children and adoption systems who have no home to call their own? Do their lives matter? Nope. When there is a seeing, breathing human being in need of aid and rights, why do you look to the cells that are so slight they barely even exist yet, but you want to fret and try to make us forget about the living, seeing, breathing, every human merely being people on this planet who should have rights, who should be protected by you, our government. Yes. But our government was never meant to protect those of our kind. The patriarchy protects by control. Freedom is only for the creators, the white men who the system was built for, who stifle our freedom and objectify our liberty so it becomes a privilege and not a right. I'll tell you why. They are afraid. They are afraid of our power. The power that feeds movements like it feeds children. The power that only grows, burning, and cannot be diffused. Though they have tried to stifle us out, they have called us witches, burnt us at the stake. They have demonized us from the very beginning with stories of Eve, making us believe that our power will only bring chaos. They put our black sisters in bondage, stole the land that we now stand from the indigenous women, and ripped their children away to control, to destroy, to erase.
Call your friends, call your family, get in the fucking streets.
That's right.
In the streets, being loud, being disruptive, no more business as usual.
Rise up for abortion rights! Rise up for abortion rights! Abortion rights, rise up!
Hi, I'm with Lori and Joss, who woke up at 3:30 in the morning. Tell us why you're here.
This is absurd. An abortion is a woman's right. It should be our right to choose to have an abortion or to not. Whatever we decide, women must decide our fate, and that is it. Agreed 110%.
So I'm a flight attendant, and I've been watching our trip board and looking for trips. I get Rise Up for Abortion. I get information from them on my news feeds, and so I saw that they were meeting in DC today for a possible decision. So I looked for a DC layover, and I've done that in the past. I was in Chicago last week for the die-in, but if I get the timing right. So on my flight, I met Mia, who was also assigned to that flight. She came in from Salt Lake.
Yeah,
Salt
Lake City based.
Yes.
Just randomly, I asked her, what are you doing on the overnight? And she said, I'm coming here to support our rights to make a choice. And I said, yes, hell yes, let's do that. And we met each other literally a day ago. But it's so nice that you can have a connection within just a day. You just want to be able to fight for the things that you truly want. And I'm just very honored to be around these people. They're incredible.
And to be here and be able to stand up, and anybody can make it happen. Look in your city, look in your town, and if it isn't one, 2 or 3 people.
Let me just say, so this is this organization, Rise Up for Abortion Rights. when you go to the website, I've already contacted them because when I try to donate, it wouldn't allow me to donate. When I tried to sign up and, get, information, it said there was something wrong with the website. So somebody's messing with the website. So I wasn't able to donate at this moment. So I will try again tomorrow. But anyways, let's listen. And I talked to a lady that that's a volunteer, and she said, yes, I can share these.
Together becomes 10 and 20. Let's be on the right side of history, please.
Come to DC! Come to DC! Everybody make some noise if you are angry! I want you to make some noise if you are furious!
They just want to see us in pain. They want to see us beneath their foot where they think we belong. So, I'm here to break the foot.
Because the Supreme Court is poised to overturn Roe v. Wade. And I gave up a lot. I have a birthday tomorrow. I love to do karaoke. I haven't had a big party in 2 years because of COVID, and I used to have big parties. And I had a big karaoke party planned, and I had a permit that I paid for. And I have a best friend who's fucking pissed off at me right now because I really didn't tell her that I'm not having that party tomorrow. Because when the call came out on Friday to come to DC, I changed my plans. I talked to my parents if they could help me with my childcare. I talked to my partner. I had plans to go on vacation at the end of June. I work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, so I can afford to go on vacation because I don't make enough to go on vacation. And I chucked those plans because it was clear that this court decision was going to come at the end of June. So when you tell yourself you don't have time to come down here, you have to ask yourself, what will you give up?
What is the line that you're not willing to cross? How far are you willing to let them go before you decide that enough is enough? Before you decide that you want to be here, that you want to be standing here with us? Because for all of us, it's been enough for a long time. And they may ask us, how long are you willing to stay? And to them, I have one answer: 1 day longer than the other side. That is how long I am willing to stay. And if you care about someone who is not you or someone who is you, come here now.
Okay, hold on.
That will make abortion illegal and unthinkable. This decision must not stand. This decision must not stand. Legal abortion on demand. Legal abortion on demand. My body. My choice. My body. My choice. We won't go back. We won't go back. We won't go back. This ruling was illegitimate. It must not be accepted, and people in this country need to stand up now, fill these streets, and demand that the U.S. government at the federal level restore nationwide legal abortion.
Let's continue.
I want to talk to Sarah Taylor. She has been here for 2 weeks and waiting for this decision. When it came down, your reaction.
This is the state violence against women. This is an absolute atrocity. It is illegitimate. It is illegitimate for this Supreme Court packed with theocratic fascist judges appointed by an illegitimate president, Donald Trump, to give the state the right to hijack women's bodies, to treat their wombs like surveillance sites,
And the
to
Democratic
drag
Party-
women into court to
And the Democratic Party has done nothing for women. So why should women stand with the Democratic Party? We need a new party.
put them on trial and lock them up if they induce their own abortions, if they travel to other states to get abortions. Forcing women to have children against their will is a form of enslavement. It is barbaric, and this is 100% illegitimate. It is infuriating. It is outrageous, and no one should accept it. And I think anybody with any ounce of decency, humanity, love for women, concern about justice, concern about LGBTQ rights, because those are next. Contraception is next. All of the rights that are undergirded by the same foundation as Roe are on the line now. We need to be in these streets. We need to rise up a nonviolent, massive, sustained. It's beautiful here now. It needs to grow every day, millions strong, until this building, this body,
The Capitol Hill.
yeah, Congress or the White House, acts to restore legal nationwide abortion across this country on demand now. This is absolutely, women cannot be free if they don't control their own bodies and reproduction.
So you're an activist. What's next? What do you do next?
We're calling on people to rise up in the streets and massively flood the streets. I have the green bandana on. This is the green bandana that came out of Argentina. It was taken up in Colombia, in Mexico, places where abortion was criminalized. Very patriarchal, very repressive societies, very Catholic societies. People went in the streets and they demanded legal abortion, and they struggled day after day, night after night. They brought thousands and they brought millions, and they tore down the criminalization of abortion. And we need that same flooding of the streets from below, thousands strong, millions strong. We need to bring this society to a halt through nonviolent, mass, disruptive protest and resistance. And I'm not talking about one day, like the Women's March or Planned Parenthood, one symbolic day, then you go home and you wait for November for the Democrats who have never fought these fascists the way they need to be fought, who have never protected abortion the way it needs to be protected. I am talking about day after day, the struggle of the people from below in these streets until we compel those in power to restore legal abortion across this country, not a few sanctuary states where women are left behind. In Oklahoma and Texas, women who are in detention are left behind, women in prison are left behind, exactly like you said, poor women, young women who cannot travel. I am not talking about protecting a few areas for a few women, which will be shrinking anyhow if these fascists are not stopped. I am talking about legal abortion on demand across this country and then fighting for it around the world. This is on our hands right now. And history is being decided. Everybody in this country is being put to the test. If you accept this, it will only grow worse, and it will be worse than you imagine and faster than you imagine. We have to draw a line now. We have to rise up. We have to reverse this decision now.
You're obviously not going to change the court's opinion. They know that this is an unpopular decision. You're talking about legislation and that they couldn't get through the Senate. You think that enough people can pressure them with such an evenly divided Senate and Republicans so together on this issue?
I think
if women are very serious about this, there needs to be a third party, and that third party needs to represent women to the fullest and the rights of women. And if it doesn't, then if I was a woman, I wouldn't vote at all for the Democratic Party. Well, definitely not the Republican Party, but not for the Democratic Party at all. Swing vote, vote new party, get the Democrats out, get the old talking points bullshit from the Democratic Party out. Don't vote Republican. Start a new party. Get all women on board with a new party and let all the women's vote count for the new party.
that even capitulationists, common ground seeking Democrats, and yes, even fascist Republicans can be compelled. They worry about the perceived legitimacy of their institutions. Everybody knows this decision from the Supreme Court was illegitimate. If people come out and show our opposition, I think it can force the kind of political crisis where they have to make concessions. In reality, that's how all our rights have been won. Voting rights weren't won by voting. They were won in the streets by people sitting down, doing freedom rides, going on hunger strike, going to jail. LGBTQ rights and marriage equality was won by people rising up. Abortion rights was won by people going in the streets and raising hell. This is how you force power to concede. Frederick Douglass said it years ago. Power concedes nothing without a demand, never has, never will. Do I think it's realistic that they will restore abortion rights if we sit home? Hell no. Do I think if we come out and raise bloody hell, the majority of us, 1 in 4 women who's had an abortion, all the women and the men and the doctors who remember...
Let me just say, I had an abortion. I had my first daughter and she was 5 or 6 months old, and I got pregnant again. Financially, I couldn't afford to have another child at that time. Her father's like, we cannot afford it. He took me to the abortion clinic, and I got an abortion. Now, in a perfect world, if I could have financially supported that child, I would have, okay? And I would have kept it. This is what pro-choice is about. It's about if you want to have the child, you want to nurture the child, you have the means to nurture the child, then you have the child. But if you have medical reasons, you've been raped, or you know that you cannot support this child, whatever time period that the child comes in, you should be able to have the right to make that choice. And it's unfortunate that we've rolled things back to the 1940s and 50s where these rights are being taken away from women.
Remember the back alley deaths, foreclosed lives before 1973? All the young people in fear for their future. If we flood these streets and don't go home, absolutely we can compel them to restore legal abortion on demand across this country, and nothing less than that is acceptable.
Ms. Taylor, thank you so much for your insight. I definitely appreciate you. And obviously...
Okay, hold on.
In order to reach the Supreme Court, we need to emphasize the gravity of this situation to shut this country down. Our politicians don't care whether or not what they're doing is morally or ethically right. All they care about is receiving positive press. So if we all come together to disrupt the country, we may have a chance at winning this fight. For decades, women have been fighting for their rights for numerous things. We are done with being seen as soft and pushovers, but we are the exact opposite. Those who are saying, oh, this won't change, or they'll never listen to you, I want you to think about how all of our rights have been won throughout the history in America. Our main goal is to spread the message and reach as many people as we can. Every time you attend one of these protests or repost something on your Instagram or do something as little as wearing green for the day, I want you to know that you're standing up for millions of women, not only in the country but around the world, and that you're rising up for abortion rights and rising up for what's right. Thank you.
Amen to that, sister.